Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. We are on episode number 2. There's the book. Mr. Dan just had it. Dan, how are you today? How are you this week, sir?
I'm doing so well, so splendiferous. Currently, snow is falling outside, and snow is really my jam. So, one
Are
thing I
you a
would
big
like to
are
say,
you a big snow guy?
oh, I love the snowman. Like,
Really?
I love the snowman. Yeah. Um, I don't know, man. Cold weather in particular is better for me. You can always put more layers on, but there's only so much legally you can take off and walk about. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got a point. I am not a snow guy. I'm not a cold guy. Give me summer and fall and all that, and I'm not a like I like looking at the snow, but that's about it. Like that's like a dusting an inch. That's about it. I don't
You
want
don't
any
just
more.
get tempted to run out and just put your like footprint in like a freshly fallen thing of snow.
Nope,
What?
nope. I could live in Florida where I would never get snow and I would be happy.
You just have gators in your backyard.
That's why I don't live in Florida. We're here to talk about. Well, in case you missed it, Dan and I are going through the 1001 movies you must see before you die. It is a challenge that we've just started, a new series on this channel, and we're using a random what's the word for it?
Number generator,
Number
basically.
generator. Generator is what I was looking for. Thank you. Uh, a random number generator to pick a page out of the book, and we're going to cover that film rather than just going in order because the book is listed by year. So, as if you watched last week's episode, you know that we started in 1902. We don't want to be in the early 1900s for the next 3 years. We want to be, all over the place with this. So I think it keeps it more fun. So we did, and as announced at the end of last episode, today we are discussing the 1986 film Blue Velvet, directed by David Lynch, starring
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, Kyle MacLachlan, Isabella Rossellini, and of course Ellie Sadler herself, Laura Dern. Um, I'm going to give a quick description of the movie, and then I'm going to toss it to you, Dan, first to get your initial thoughts.
For
So,
those of
Blue.
you who did buy the book, what was the page number we're playing with?
Oh, I will tell you. So, if you are following along with this was in the book. It was page 721, Blue Velvet. So, Blue Velvet, directed by David Lynch, it is the discovery of a severed human ear found in a field leads a young man on an investigation related to a beautiful, mysterious nightclub singer and a group of criminals who have kidnapped her child. Dan, initial thoughts.
I want to start from the top. So going into this, I was really excited because I had the same director and lead actor as Twin Peaks. My wife and I just really started getting into Twin Peaks, and honestly, I think it's a phenomenal television series. Um, I think we're just into the first season, haven't gone much further than that, but the story's good and everything else. So going into this, I had high expectations. Um, to note, this was prior to Twin Peaks being released by a few years. And overall, starting off, again, had high expectations. The middle, man, I guess I was along the same thought process as a lot of people when this movie first came out, where there was a lot of violence and a lot of sexual scenes, a lot of things that didn't necessarily elevate the movie, in my opinion. I feel that if anything, they probably distracted from it. There was a lot going on. Like again, I looked at this movie like the beginning, I thought was okay. The middle was just all over the place, and then the end was a little bit better. So to me, it lost itself in the middle. Um, I don't know. Maybe we should spitball this back and forth. I know Kayla wants to jump in because oh, never mind. She doesn't want to jump in. But I want to go back and forth with you on this. So what were
Okay.
your thoughts?
I'm surprising. I'm actually kind of relieved to hear you say that because I'm kind of right there with you. Um, I think the middle is where this just kind of lost me. But I'm going to say so. A couple of notes I wrote, and it's not as nearly as many as I wrote last week. Um, I wrote, I don't know what the beep that was, but it was made very beautifully. Like the cinematography is absolutely beautiful. I loved looking at the movie. Um, I struggled really. I'm big fan of the app Letterbox, so I'm on there all the time. Uh, that's another. It's my weekly plug for my Letterboxd app. Go follow me. Uh, I struggled whether to give this like a 1 star or like a 4 star because parts of it are just brilliant and I absolutely loved. But then other parts, I just feel like it's a mess. And it's just like, I just didn't, there was things happening that I just didn't think needed to happen and things I didn't understand why they were happening. The performances, the acting, all of them really are top notch. Dennis Hopper, if I had to pick one that I didn't, I like Dennis Hopper. I'm a fan. I felt like he was way too over the top here, and I know that's probably how it was supposed to be, but to me, it was just too much. Um, Laura Dern, maybe just because of my love for Jurassic Park, but I thought she was a standout here. I thought she was really, really good. Um, I wonder what that looks about. The movie kind of portrays like a white picket fence type of town, like, but then like you also get the nitty gritty uh,
Underbelly.
after dark version of that town too, which I really thought was a brilliant idea and really liked it. Um, we get to see that the people in this town are not so perfect after all, and I don't know. It was just very strange, very bizarre movie. I'm with you. The beginning, I was hooked. I was in. He's in the closet with when she comes in and she finds him and then it becomes a whole nother movie. And I was still in. And then Dennis Hopper comes in, and then really shortly after that is where it started to lose it for me. But then toward the end, it kind of picked me back up and I was like, okay, I'm with it again a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm at initially. Um,
I think it's kind of funny. Because you and I, like I said, we have a similar idea, but I think we're on like two different wavelengths almost. So to me, I thought Dennis Hopper was actually the better performance out of all this because he actually
really?
made me believe like he's a freaking crazy dude. Like out of everything, like he took me on some kind of psychotic fever dream. Like that was where I was. Laura Dern, on the other hand, I thought was a weak performance, but she was also very young as an actress. There were certain parts where it accused her face, and it's just like these over exaggerated facial expressions. I think later they worked in Jurassic Park, but like here they just felt a little too much over the top because even though she is involved in this to a degree, she's not really, if that makes any kind of sense. So
Right,
it's
right.
like way hype over what exactly. I think the story overall was interesting. Like the whole bit is like the guy Jeffrey comes back from school and he ends up finding an ear. It ends up being the husband ear of a singer at like a cabaret or a musical place, and turns out he's been kidnapped. Her, which is again her husband, and her child's also been kidnapped by a gangster forcing her to do sexual acts um, to keep them alive. Later down the line, he ends up getting deaded, the husband, Like he's no more. He's gone. And she does at the end of the movie get her child back, but again, I feel like you could have had this without all of the sexual scene. Like, just it was so strange to me, but maybe because they're trying to portray somebody with trauma. But it was very odd that she's like, "Oh yeah, come out of the closet," and then starts kissing over him, like
Yeah.
asking him to beat her. But at the same time, when she's been beaten, she starts going to him to cry to him that she's been beaten. And it's a hard subject matter. I could understand why this film had like a lot of time trying to find a budget or a production company. Like I think it was like over 10 years they said they were looking to try to film this and couldn't get anybody to watch it or buy it, produce it. It was, I'm so sorry, I'm still coughing. Um, it was just a mess. I had to sit down 3 times to sit down and watch this thing in its entirety. When that happens to me, I just don't enjoy the movie. It almost felt like I had to sit through it to get through it just to see the end. And and of course, because it's part of this, I want to make sure I'm watching it and giving it everything. But I don't have anything against the lead actor. Um, but the one thing I will say I did like about this is the fact, as you said, we had the American dream, white picket fence houses, roses by the fence line versus, okay, sex, drugs, violence, and it intertwined them. It didn't put it one against the other. It mixed the stories entirely and then ran them parallel with each other. And
Mhm.
that was something. And in the end, our hero becomes more like the villain, where he yes he does he hit the lady, which is something that Frank would do, played by Dennis Hopper. He hit her. Yes, he does. I'm just saying he doesn't. Sorry, lady in the chair is getting on me about that. But anyways, in my mind, yes, he becomes more like that. But in the end, he's back to the innocent. Okay, but she's a high schooler, right? Laura Dern's character.
Yes, and so is he. So is MacLachlan.
I
Oh,
thought he
was
was
he in
still
college?
in
Oh,
college.
okay. Maybe he was in college. Then she's in high school. Correct.
Yeah, just kind of curious what her age was supposed to be in the movie. I don't know if it stated that or not.
I don't think so. I think I would guess like a senior in high school.
Yeah. All right. Well, just curious. But anyways, overall, we have to ask ourselves one question before I put where I want to be on whether this is a movie I must see before I die. Put it back to you in case you had any follow-up points that you'd like to bounce around.
I mean, I think not really. I mean, I think there was a lot of it to like here. But there was a lot of it that I felt could have been done differently. I'm not going to say better, but it could have been done differently. Some of the choices made were interesting. I think, but I also think I don't know. I'm not super familiar with David Lynch's, you know, director filmography. I don't know if he's, if he, I've heard obviously Dune and things that I haven't seen personally, so I'm not familiar with his directing style. I'm not sure if this is like right up his alley.
I think honestly, it does have a lot of the same tones as like Twin Peaks, but I think it translates better to series rather than just to a movie.
Yeah, now see that would be interesting if this were a series. I feel like maybe you could do more, and I might be into it. Like, because it did keep me guessing. It kept me wondering what was going to happen next pretty much the whole time. So,
So the whole end where they had Frank come out and he was the well-dressed man, like that was just
yes.
funny to me. Like this big bad gangster guy is hiding his identity, going out dressed as this dude. Just it's just crazy.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I got. So, I mean, that brings it. Oh,
One last piece, like this song. If ever I hear this song again, I like super cringed out by this song.
I
Like I was thinking
wondered
about it.
before before we went into it, before I went into it, I was wondering if this song was in this movie because I knew of the song. And I was like, I wonder if it's like going to be in the movie. And sure enough, the movie opens Blue Velvet.
Oh my God, it never goes away. It's the whole,
Not
it's
only is it in the movie, it's
yeah.
in like the entire 2 hour movie, like the whole time. Um, so it's definitely an appropriate title. But Dan, we're to that point. Is this a movie that you must see before you die? Do you want to go first?
I guess I will. With all due respect to General Editor Stephen J. Snyder and Ian Hayden Smith, who updated 1001 movies you must see before you die, I could have went without this one, guys. I'm sorry.
I agree. I also do not think it is a movie you must see before you die. Um, which is interesting. I didn't think we were going to get to one so early on in this, but hey, that just keeps it interesting for us and for viewers because last week we praised A Trip to the Moon, and here we are on episode 2 saying no, this ain't it, guys. Now I will say it does seem to have a following. A lot of people love this movie online. A lot of people praise this movie.
That's
So
good because all those people that look up this movie will now find us and trash
and
us.
trash us and our bald heads that we, since we're not wearing hats inside. Um, but that's okay. Uh, and if you like this movie, that's okay. Film is subjective. You're entitled to your opinion.
Let's talk about what we are doing here is basically a book club for movies. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if you find us and you disagree full heartedly or you're following along, we want to hear your comments just like we did in videos before. But let's get some engagement. Let us know what you're feeling. If you don't like our bald heads, that's cool. You let us know that. Let us know other things. Um, yeah, let us know how you feel about this movie.
Um, yeah. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with us. And again, that's okay. Let me hear from you. Let me hear, but don't just tell me you disagree. Tell me why you disagree. Tell me why this is a movie that you must see before you die. Give me that reason in your comment if you think that this is. That's what I'd like to hear. Um, so that is it, right? Short and sweet, to the point episode.
One thing we did decide differently, just to talk to the audience to reach out beyond the screen here. We're gonna do live spins on the show, live spins. So you get to find out pretty much exactly when we do, well, delayed based on when the video is filmed, what we're gonna be watching next. So excited to see what Matt pulls out as I cough myself to.
Yeah, use that cough button. Um, I am putting the numbers in the generator now, and we are going to find out live in real time, well, in our real time, uh, which movie is next. And the number is 315.
Okay, there's no backing out of this.
No, here we go.
We're committed.
315.
Well, we're getting a little further down the line here.
Going in the past, but not
As far.
as far in the past. I'm almost there. Oh wow. I'm excited.
312,
Have you found it?
316. Hold up. Uh-oh.
You're very close, Kayla.
All right.
The lady in the chair is very close.
Alrighty. The Ten Commandments it is.
The
1956 film Cecil B. DeMille.
the Ten Commandments. Dan just said in 1956, Cecil B. DeMille. I have seen this before, but not in a long, long time. So I'm excited. I don't know how Dan feels, but I'm excited.
I have not seen this before. I'll
Really?
reserve judgment until we see it. Yeah.
It's it's one of those ones that would play like on TV, like back when cable was a thing, like every year, like
How long
around
is it? Yeah, that's a good question.
It's up there. It's like, hang on, it's like 3 hours ish, maybe longer. I'll tell you momentarily.
Longer.
220 minutes. So it's longer than 3 hours. How long is that?
Well, like 3 hours and 40 minutes.
So
Yeah.
3.5 hours.
That might be a couple days watch.
But it's, I don't know. I'm gonna reserve my opinion for it for next episode. But
Well, you gotta rewatch it. You can't take old
oh
opinions.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna rewatch it for sure. Because I haven't watched it since I was probably last time I watched it, I was probably like 12, 13. So it's been a while, but it was one that I watched all the time as a kid. So I am quite familiar with the movie and I'm
What an
excited to
interesting
revisit it.
man you are.
Yeah. So there it is, folks. Let us know what you thought about Blue Velvet. If you agree, disagree, again, let me know why you disagree if you do. And be sure to tune in and join us next time for the Ten Commandments. I guess we didn't say, well, I put it up on the screen last time. We should start saying in the beginning where we watched it in case people want to follow along with us. So Blue Velvet.
Oh, Kayla's correct. Like that could change based on when they're watching the video as
That's
well.
that's true too. Well, we watched this on Paramount Plus slash Showtime, which is kind of
Roku.
like merged with, and it's also on Roku as well. But again, like Dan just said, it's subject to change depending on when you watch this video. But that's all for now. Any final words?
Blue Velvet. Now
There
we're
it
gonna
is.
head off.
All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys.